Hi everyone, my name is Emma Darnell and this is my reflection for GRC 316. Starting with my illustrator presentation, I chose Amy Soul, a Korean American contemporary artist. She mostly focuses on fantasy and ethereal style paintings. And a lot of her work consists of like the bonds between animals and humans. So it kind of has a deeper meaning behind it. And that's what initially drew me into her work, and is why I wanted to explore it a little bit more through this project. And then moving on to our very first project, the sketch to digital painting. For this project, I ended up doing an apple, a cat, and a parfait. And then in the very top right here are my initial sketches. And then in the bottom right, you can see my finished paintings. This project is definitely what opened my eyes to digital painting. I think digital painting might be my favorite part of illustration after this semester. And I really enjoyed this project. The only thing I maybe would have changed was the parfait. Just because the background's a little bit flat, and so is the glass. I feel like the glass could have been shinier. But other than that, I was really pleased with how these turned out. And it definitely got me interested in digital painting after this. And then moving on to the second assignment, which was the grayscale to color. And this part is just the grayscale stage. And then on the very left is my original photo, and then in the middle is my sketch, and then on the right is my finished grayscale painting. Once again, I really enjoyed this assignment just because I loved digital painting. And this was just another variation of that, basically. And then moving on to my grayscale to color. Once again, I put the original photo on the left, the progress in the middle, and my completed one on the right. For this part of the project, we used Photoshop to kind of color fill our original grayscale painting. For this part, I wasn't 100% happy with how my finished painting turned out, just because I feel like the colors were a little bit off compared to the original. Like, it was dull, but it was also like too warm tone, but it was also too cool tone. I don't know. And then I also kind of wish that I had added a little bit more detail into my initial grayscale painting. I was really pleased with how my grayscale painting turned out, but once I started colorizing it, I felt like all of the detail disappeared. So I think had I gone back and added more detail and then colorized it, it probably would have been a little bit more realistic. But despite that, it still turned out really good, and I was really pleased with this project. And then moving on to our next project, the holiday card. On the left, I included my original thumbnails, and then I ended up going with the top middle one, and I ended up changing the orientation, which I think turned out really well. And then on the right, I included all of my color comp cards, so the grayscale, and then 3 different color comps that I was going to potentially do. I think, actually, I was really torn between which of the 3 I wanted to do. I had originally started with the teal one because I thought it was like a little different, but then I did the red one and I was like, dang, but the red one's really holiday. But then I finished with that kind of tannish one, and that one kind of just, it felt the most neutral and like homey, so that one ended up being my winner. And then moving on to the next portion, this was my finished holiday card after I adjusted it to Sending Abundance. And then I did actually get selected to be this year's holiday card for the College of Fine Arts. which I'm really excited about. So I also included a picture of the physical card that I received from the office. Alright, and then moving on to our next project, which was the poker face card design. And then once again on the left is my initial sketches. For this project, I wanted to do something kind of royal Parisian because I did choose I don't remember the exact name of the hotel I chose, but it was in Nice, France. So I wanted it to be kind of floral, but also like old school France. And then on the top right was my initial layout. I wasn't too pleased with this one because I was trying to do the kind of like mirrored effect, but it just felt crowded. So I ended up changing it to just a single character, which felt empty, as you can see in the middle one. And then I finalized it with the background and everything, and I was really pleased with this. So then moving on to my finalized card design. This is after I added on the lettering and the hearts. I was really pleased with how this one turned out. And I feel like the colors in the characters, it just really pops. I also really love the card backing. I think the card backing is my favorite. And then I also included my mock-up in the bottom right. And then moving on to my poker face card animation. I included my storyboard for this one because I kind of wanted the cards to flip, and then at the end I wanted like the deck to spread out to show all the designs. I didn't end up getting that last part in there because After Effects was a lot harder than I had anticipated it to be, but I'm still really happy with my result. I'm not able to play the video. I don't know why it's not working. But basically I just animated my card to flip like slowly, and as it flips the card design changes to each character. And then moving on to our final project this semester, which was the master copy. I also really enjoyed this project. I didn't necessarily love how my finished like my personal illustration turned out, but I think that's just because of the sketch that I did. I wanted to try something a little out of my comfort zone, so I went with a woman standing like on the coast, but I'm not really skilled with drawing people, so it looks a little wonky, which is why I don't love it. But I really love my master copy, the middle one. I feel like that one turned out, it's not exact to the original painting, which was something cliffside by Claude Monet. But yes, other than that, I'm really pleased with how this assignment turned out as well. Once again, I love digital painting, so this one was also really fun. I also had a blast kind of doing like the oil painted vibe. It was definitely a learning curve doing it digitally, but I'm still really happy with how it turned out. And then finally, my conclusion on this semester. I really enjoyed this class, especially because it was a lot of digital painting. And I definitely feel like I learned a lot. Like, learning After Effects was a crazy process, but I'm really glad, and I definitely want to experiment with it more. Same thing, like, same thing with, like, colorizing things on Photoshop. Definitely want to, try doing that again, just because I think I could do a better job now if I keep practicing. But yes, I really enjoyed this class in this semester, and that's it for my reflection. Thank you.